Hi guys, this is Mar Haddad here again. So we have now the Juniper connected to the console port. That's really good. Now we need to gain access to the command line because at this moment there is a password for the root which I don't know it. So we have to find out how we can do the password recovery for the root so we are able to connect to the command line. As you can see here, we have a lab of 5 points. Let's start directly with the first point. Point number 1, power on your router and press on space after the kernel has been loaded. So let's first have let's open this serial COM3. Let's open it because now my router is powered off. Alright, let's power on the router. So let me just put the cable. So now I have powered on the router and we can see that it has started loading. So we have to be now waiting to, we have to press on space after the kernel has been loaded. So you can see now it's doing the check. Now it says press space to abort auto boot. Don't do that. Just leave to reach to this level. You can see on this sign, now the kernel is starting to be loaded. So now you can start pressing on space. Alright, just do it a couple of times to be sure that it's going to load from the loader. So we have to wait a little bit. We have to be patient because it's not a very fast process with the Juniper normally. So now here we go. We go to the loader. The first command we have to write now is called boot -s. So make boot -s and then we wait a little bit. And then we have to reach to one level where we have to put the second command. So we wait for this to finish. Let's wait a little bit more. So it's all happening, by the way, this is in the FreeBSD. So this is the kernel used FreeBSD, so it's Linux. And you reach to this level, enter full path name of shell or recovery for root password recovery. So here we have to put the recovery. So let me write it. Recovery. So we have to write recovery. Actually, you don't see it because of me. Let me move my picture out. So you see, I have written recovery, right? And then I will say enter. Very good. So it's keep working. Let's put my picture back. Alright, so we have to still wait a little bit. Now in a moment it should ask me to put the new password. And this password is going to be for the root. So the username that we are resetting now is called root. Root is the super user on the Juniper. So this is the highest level privileged user on Juniper. And this cannot be deleted. So this comes with the operating system. Alright, so let's wait a little bit until it asks me to put the new password. So as you can see here, it's still loading now. So we have to still wait a little bit more. And we see if it's going to ask me to put the new password or if it's going to take me directly to the root without the password, because this can happen also. So let's wait a little bit more and then we see what's going to happen. So you can see now it's running it was saying running the recovery script. So here running recovery script because we said recovery, so it's running the recovery script now to be able to now have the password on the root. That's what it shows over here when we said recovery. For root password recovery, we have to write recovery and then we have written recovery. So this is happening now. So let's wait a little bit to see what's going to happen. So again, as I said, Juniper, the process of the loading and all this takes some time. So you can see we are now on the root level, here on the operational level. So what we can now say here, we have to say edit to go to the configuration level. And now what I can do, I can just say set system root authentication, and then what I can do, I have to say here plain text. So what I'm doing, I'm just saying that I want to put the password for the root, and then the new password is Juniper 123 within a capital J Juniper 123. Alright, so that's it. Now I can say commit to save this configuration. And now we have a new password. And some other version like the SRX 100, because I have reset it, it doesn't take you to this level to change the password. It will change for you. It will ask you to put the password, the new password, directly right away. Point number 1 is done. We have powered on the router. We have pressed space, then write recovery, put your new password. We have done that. Now, point number 3, log in to your new root account and load the default configuration. So we are already on the account. Let's load the configuration. Let's go there. And what I want now to do is just to load the default configuration, because now if we say show over here, then we can see that there is some configuration on this router, which I don't want it. I just want to have the factory load configuration. So what we can say here from this level, we have to say load factory default, and then I will say enter. So it's saying activating factory configuration. So that means it is now on the factory configuration. But we have to say now commit to save the configuration. If I say commit, then because we have reset the configuration to the factory, also the password that we have created has been resetted. And we cannot commit, we cannot save the configuration if we do not have a password for the root. You see, so you need to create a root password again. Point number 3 is done. Point number 4, save the new configuration. Is it possible? No. Why? Because we have reset the configuration, and then the factory configuration that is coming from Juniper, the root doesn't have a password. And if you want to save the configuration that you have resetted, then you need to have a password. All right. So then we have to create a password and we have to save the configuration. So we go back to here. Now we have to create a password again. So we have to say set system root authentication plain text again Juniper 123 Juniper 123, and now if we say commit, we are saving now the factory configuration. All right, so we see that it's now doing the save. Very good. So let's wait a little bit. So this has been committed. Now what I would like to do, this lab is finished, but what I would like to do, I want to reboot this router, and I have to see if I put the root as a username and password as Juniper 123, then if this router is going to log in. So I will reboot it and we'll come back once we have the prompt for the username and the password. So here my router has been rebooted. Let's now try to connect to the root and the password that we have created. So that is root and password is Juniper 123. Yeah, here we go. So we are already now on the router. And the first thing it does, it goes to the shell over here. There is the shell level. To go to the operational level, we have to write CLI. I'm going to explain to you all about this in this course. And now we have to say edit. And yeah, here it is. If we say show, then we can see the configuration that is loaded by the factory. So when we made the load the factory for the configuration, so this is the configuration. You can see that Juniper used some programming way to show you the configuration. There is also another way to show the configuration, not like in programming, but that's something I'm going to show it during this course. Point number 5 is done, and with this point I have showed you how you can reset the root password for the router. So in case you get a used router and there is a password, you don't know what is the password. So what you can do, you can just reset it. Remember, you have to press on space, write boot -s, then recovery. And sometimes, for example, on the SRX 100, it asks you once you do the recovery to put the new password. But it looks like for the SRX 210, it doesn't do that. So we can change the password once we get the access to the root, and yeah, we can go from there and we go to the edit, and then we can change the password after that. And also I have showed you how you can also load the default configuration on the Juniper router. So this is what I wanted to show you in this lecture. I hope it was informative for you, and I will see you in the upcoming lecture.